All right, today we're going to talk about, I don't know. Or like hold it in both hands, like do it. Yeah, like that, yeah. Yeah.
What does water mean to you? I feel like if I'm ever thinking, if I have deep thoughts at all, I have to think being around some sort of water, whether it be near a lake, ocean, even the shower. Just when I'm around water, I just start thinking. I don't know why.
I like that. Life is like water though, like the sea, like the ocean, like the lake, right? Because like all the waves go up and down. It's like a cycle, and it's continuous. It never stops. Like all these waves keep traveling, keep on and on and on. Tall waves too, you know what I mean? Like high waves that come crashing down.
True.
Surfer waves. You went surfing, no? In Cali?
Yeah, bro. Actually, let me tell you about a moment, bro. I had one of my first surf sessions, and this was kind of a big moment for me, to be honest. But I was surfing, and I wasn't the best starting out, obviously.
Yeah.
I remember one time I just was out there by myself.
Yeah.
It was sunset, birds were flying. It was like a movie scene, bro. I loved it.
Wow.
But then all of a sudden, I just got basically overwhelmed with this sense of, it was like random anxiety that just hit me, like,
really?
a shark's about to come up and eat my leg. Like, it's funny to say, but I literally thought a shark was gonna like some sea animal or something was gonna happen.
Okay.
I don't know why. You're ever just in the water and you're like, a shark could be right here and I wouldn't even know.
I mean, I don't think about a shark. I think about those, I forgot what it's called, but those things that like sting you. Stingrays? I don't know. Like the thing.
Jellyfish.
Jellyfish.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
about jellyfish. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
think about sharks too often.
Yeah. So anyways, I was feeling that, and I was just focused on staying away from the danger.
Yeah.
That probably most likely wasn't even out there.
Yeah.
But I was just so focused on it that I wasn't focused on catching the waves, and I didn't catch any waves for like 20 minutes.
Until you got over the fear?
Right.
Like
so I just told
bit?
myself, why am I fearing over something that hasn't even happened yet and most likely will not happen in my lifetime? But yeah, bro. So once I got over that, I was like, honestly, this is a problem in my own life besides surfing. Mm-hmm. Do you know how many things I just don't do or can't accomplish because I'm afraid of what might happen, even though it hasn't even happened yet and probably won't happen again? So I finally let go of that fear of the unknown and the fear of something that might happen that probably won't. Yeah. And once I did, I just locked in on surfing, and I locked in on that wave. And the first wave that came when I told that fear to go, I told myself, I know what I'm doing. I know the steps to do this. I'm going to surf this wave. And sure enough, it was the first wave I actually surfed successfully from being out there. Granted, it was only like a 5-second surf, but I had still done it, and it was the first one, and it was me overcoming that fear, and that's how that came to be.
Dude, it's so beautiful what the mind can do, man. It's all about your mindset. That's why I enjoy the energy it's such a, like, obviously it's such a intense energy out there, like in California and whatnot, but I enjoy it so much because you rarely come across so many open-minded, open people that believe that anything is possible, that believe that they can create their own reality, you know what I mean? And that really visualize and create that for themselves.
You know, I think we hopped on the self-improvement train,
yes,
probably at a similar time with similar people. We've talked about it, but it was great for what it was for me, you know, this self-improvement, and it's still great, some aspects of it. Yeah. But I think I got so consumed by the self-improvement and the creating your own reality and all of these things that I think, in a way, it created a lot of pride in me and a lot of like, I did this, I deserve this. But all of this, life in general, is all a gift. It's all an extent of God's grace on my life. So even the strength that I had to do all of these things was given to me by God. That mindset that he gave me of resilience, that was given to me by God. The discipline, all of it. And I used to think, I'm just going to thank God for the godly things. Like, Lord, thank you for, dying on the cross for my sins. Thank you for doing all these things. But I think it's more than that. And it's even our personal life. It's our own breath. God, thank you for my own breath. Simple things like
this. The fact that we're able to see this, we're able to hear this. You know what I mean?
And you could think, like, even today, us getting coffee and talking about the camera gear we bought. Yes, we worked hard to get this. We worked hard to get here in our career. But even that, bro, even that. God gave us that strength and those people around us and all these things. So
I can turn the negative events that way too in my life, honestly, right?
Yeah.
Like, I believe that those things happened to me for a reason. Things like a breakup, things like a relationship that, was once good and then turned into something negative.
Sure.
Because those things helped form and shape me, and those things ultimately gave me strength.
Yeah.
They gave me resilience. They gave me, courage, and they forced me to build myself up, not just like as a man, but also mentally. And they showed me what pain felt like.
Yeah.
And all those things give me the opportunity to feel more compassion for people in general, and also just more gratitude in life.
Yeah.
And help me experience things more fully, if that makes sense.
It's depth.
It's depth.
It's depth.
It's depth.
But I think a lot of times when we're in the midst of those things, it's hard to see that big picture.
Yeah.
But once you get through it, like the struggles that I went through 5 years ago, and I'm so grateful for it. I for example, there was one time I was about 15 or 16 years old, and I got really bad poison ivy. Really bad poison ivy, bro. I'm talking in between my toes, on my eyes. Yeah, it was crazy,
What'd you do, jump in it?
Basically, bro.
Bush?
I don't know what happened, but it was really severe, where I couldn't even sleep because of the pain.
Yeah.
It was just quiet, and I couldn't do anything. It was just me, my thoughts, and God.
Yeah.
And I think back to that time, and I think about how needed that time was in silence.
Yeah.
And how needed that time was to just think about not only what I had before this, because, you don't know what you had till it's gone. And when your whole physical body feels that way and you don't even have just normal breath, it's like, wow, I'm so grateful. But I remember that after that happened and the poison ivy was gone, I remember just having such clarity about life and such gratefulness. And I was just like,
because you were forced to sit with yourself.
I was forced to sit with it. And I was like, I got to the point where I was like, God, all I have is you. I don't have anything else. And that taught me so much, bro. And I remember, and this can sound really toxic, but this is what my 16-year-old brain was thinking. I remember thinking to myself after I got the poison ivy, I was like, I feel ungrateful right now in life. I feel like I'm not understanding things. I wish I could just get poison ivy again. I remember thinking about going outside and like finding some poison ivy just so I could be in that headspace again.
Wow.
Of where I was. Obviously, I didn't do that, and I don't recommend that to anyone. But yeah, bro, I feel like we have to be so desperate for that silence and just to sit in the presence of God and be grateful.
But I think we can practice it every day.
Oh, yeah.
We can choose to sit in silence every day, even if it's just 10 minutes, daily, and we can write down what we're grateful for and think about it in journal and whatnot. Some people, can express that through writing. Other people express that other ways. But I'm just saying.
Videos.
True. Poems. Yeah.
Everything.
Art. Any form of art. Writing is art, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any way that you can express gratitude.
Yeah.
And focus of it. If you could conclude the main theme of what you just talked about, is there a Bible verse in specific that would fit the theme of this? Or maybe even just like a story or a topic that was discussed at any,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I would say the story of Job. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. But basically, it starts off with a conversation between God and Satan. And Satan's like, you said that this guy's devoted to you. Let me test that. And God's like, bet. And basically, these terrible things start happening to Job. And he's left with nothing. Even his friends that he tries to go to for advice are just giving him terrible advice. And it's just not helping. In the midst of everything, Job is still devoted to the Lord. And it's like, what? And basically he concludes like, although I don't understand everything, I still know you're good.
What is up, MTV? This is my crib. You're all my vessels.
And that's enough. And the Lord eventually blesses him and restores everything back, but it's not even about that. It's just knowing, like, even if we don't have anything, God is still enough. Bro, Psalms 23, and I'm sure you've probably heard it, maybe not. He leads me beside still waters.
There's a lot of meaning in
He
that.
restores he restores my soul. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Although I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, which is crazy, bro. That's the worst of the worst.
I feel like that's just the dramatic visual representation of what you just said, of like the story of him losing everything. But still knowing that God is with him is enough. Yeah. That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, bro.
I like that.
What's one rule of Ryan's life or staple of Ryan's life or belief that you've just been completely grounded by, and this is something that changed your life when you got this? It's a tough question. It's a big question, so if you need time.
Dude, I wish I had something off the top of my head, because all I can think about right now is like just still that anything is possible.
How did you learn that anything is possible?
Okay, this is the most simple thing, and I really don't like it because it sounds like all those gurus that are just trying to sell you a course or trying to sell you things or just that aren't, portraying their most authentic self. But I will say the way that I learned it is that ever since I was 13, it was my dream to do video and photo. It was my dream to do the things I was doing now. And I remember I would print out pictures off of Pinterest and Google and hang them up on my wall of what I envisioned my life to be like. And I would have textbooks in which I would write down exactly what I wanted to do or who I wanted to become within the next few years. And I would just visualize it. I would write it out. I would have the pictures up. I would study it day in and day out. I would focus on it over the years. And there isn't a single thing that I have not achieved that I wrote down or visualized.
Wow.
And that's why I believe that anything is possible.
To say that at 20, 21, 22?
21, yeah.
21 is crazy, bro. Genuinely crazy. That is such a blessing.
I do think that the way they happened were unfortunately dictated by the space that I was in mentally and where I was at internally in a spiritual context. When I pursued these goals and these visions in the past, I made it a not as enjoyable of an experience for me because there was too much resistance, because I was too attached to the outcome. I wouldn't let go, if that makes sense. In terms of, I would tell myself that I needed it to happen this way and that way. And I didn't think about what, for example, like God had in store for me, what vehicle I was meant for to live out my purpose and how I was meant to serve others through my purpose, right? I was more focused on, I needed this to happen this way. And obviously,
your way.
Right, and those things aren't gonna work out because that's resistance. You're not surrendering, right? To what's meant to be and to the way that it's supposed to be and whatnot. And that's why I'd always told myself that I needed to be in Los Angeles to achieve my dreams, right? And I was going through so much turmoil, so much personal life of things I wouldn't let go of at the time, and so much just internal battle. And the second that I just let go and I let everything, like I think I let go of everything. I let go of doing photography. I let go of my entire career. I let go of money, especially. I let go of what I thought I needed. I let go of the vision that I had for my entire life almost. And I almost felt lost and like I was just falling and like I had nothing that would catch me. And it was a phase in my life where I felt like it was the most dark and unknown. But it was at that exact point that I was caught, and then I saw the light at the end, and it was almost like a reaffirming, reassuring kind of warm hug that I felt, right? Because everything that I had envisioned for myself, that I told myself I needed to go to LA for, came to me the second I surrendered and let go. Wow, crazy. Straight out the Gimpy movie. I let go of the bad environment. I let go of how I thought things needed to be.
Yeah.
I asked for guidance every single day. I would wake up and I would ask for a sign. I would ask for guidance. I would say, I know that I'm supposed to be doing content. I know I'm supposed to be doing live music specifically because that's when I felt the most alive. That's when I felt the most aligned. That's when I felt the most in touch with God, or however you would, describe that feeling that you feel internally. And I just remember letting go for, I think, about 3-4 months in which I didn't earn any money. I just moved back in with my parents. I felt like, so bad about myself. And the second that I mentally decided you need to let go of all those beliefs that are limiting you and all those things that are holding you back is when it all came to me. And it was weird because it came to me in the way of everything that did not serve me or my higher self, or like the version of myself I was trying to become, or that I knew that I was meant to become. All of those things, whether it was people, whether it was opportunities, whether it was environments, all of those just magically left my life within the span of a week.
Yeah.
And somehow, it was the craziest coincidence. What I had dreamt of since I was 13, the opportunity of like the first tour I ever went on, just fell in my lap.
Wow.
I didn't have any of the equipment at the time. I didn't have any of the finances at the time. And all of that just kind of fell in my lap, like at the perfect timing. And that's why I believe in divine timing and letting go so much. And I think that moving back from LA was the best thing that could have happened to me, because it taught me how to let go and surrender and to listen to the guidance. So that's why every single opportunity and every single dollar that I've earned since I came back and since I listened to, I can say God or higher power, whatever you believe in, right?
Yeah.
Has not been something that I have chased. It's been something that I was guided towards.
Sure.
If that makes sense. So for example, I joined a fellowship group, right? Like last September or so, and I started attending like once a month. I don't know if I mentioned this to you. I think I brought it up like once briefly, and that's why we never like talked about it. It's like based in Waxhaw. That's why I only go like so rarely, because it's so far from my house.
Sure.
But I started helping and giving back in places in my community, just to help others and to, I guess, help fill other people's like cup up, if that makes sense.
Sure.
And if I want to cultivate love and all those things in my life, then I have to be the one to give that off, right? If I want light in my life, I have to be the one bringing light to other people's lives, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And the second that I started doing that, I randomly, like a couple weeks later, got an opportunity through someone who saw me doing that for someone else. And they ended up becoming a retainer client of like 4 figures plus a month.
Wow. That's crazy.
And those are things that came to me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was able to help them inspire masses, right? And inspire other people, help other people through whatever those people were doing, right?
Yeah,
that I was helping film.
Dang, bro.
Yeah.
That's big.
So I'm just going to end it on that.
Yeah, that's gold, man. And honestly, as you were talking, I can totally relate to so much of what you said.
I'm glad.
It just reminded me of, not to keep coming back to the Bible, but that's just,
dude,
I'm so rooted into it. And I'll talk about this in probably a later video, but I was just going through a lot a while ago, and it's like, there's a verse that says...
I hate to say this.
Is it not recording?
I don't see the red frame. Do you see the red frame? Oh, no. It's still recording?
Yeah, we are.
I don't understand. Dude, that has to be gone.
It's gone. Because
that SD card said 40 minutes, and I know we've been talking for longer than 5.
We have. What if God's like, I just need this message to get out?
I know what it is. I switched it to 4K24 from 4K60, and that's why the storage doubled. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Clutch.
Let's go.
Clutch.
Yeah, bro, but like, it just reminded me of a verse that was reminded to me in a crazy situation of life that we've talked about briefly. Basically, lowest moment. And like I said, I'll talk about this more in a later video. But basically, the verse is, if you try to save your life, other versions say find your life, you will lose it.
Wow.
But if you lose your life for my sake, talking about Christ, God, this is God saying it.
Surrendering to Christ.
You will find it.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
What, bro? It's like, and you talked about when you just gave those things up.
Yes.
Ryan's way is no longer.
Yes.
I'm giving it up. You gave your life up. You know, you were trying so hard to find it. Like, only LA, only this.
You
were chasing it,
right?
bro. But when you gave it up, and you lost it. You lost it all.
Exactly.
You were there at your parents' house.
Exactly.
You know, like, you didn't have money. You lost it all.
Lost it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's where you'll find it, bro, when you give it all up.
That relationship that taught me so much in specific was an accelerator for me to get to that point. And without it, I don't think I would have let go. Without that, I don't think I would have surrendered.
Yeah.
Without that, I don't think I would have believed in someone who had my back, right? I think it's so much more fulfilling to let go, because honestly, like, I feel like chasing those things that I chased before were more selfish from a selfish place, right?
Yeah.
Versus now, when I let go and I help other people, I focus more on how to help other people and whatnot, and just surrendering and listening to, like, kind of what falls in my path, what is meant for me. It's it's a lot more fulfilling.
Yeah, it's like you found it. It's like, this is it.
It feels right?
Yeah.
You feel full. You feel happy, and I feel a lot more free and at ease.
Yes.
Crazy.
I think we can finish it with this last verse that just came to my mind and this totally seals it all together of what we're talking about. It says, a man plans his own ways, but the Lord establishes his steps.
Wow.
So we can do all the planning we want.
Wow.
We can make it our way.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the Lord will establish our steps.
I love that. On that note.
Thanks for coming out to my dock.
to your boat.
My yacht, bro.
Your yacht.
Hey, Yacht Talks. That's the podcast name.
No way.
Yo. We gotta get some B-roll with this. High key.